Hello everybody, this is Funny Bob and you're welcome to race number 11 of the 2020-21 NROL Goldfish Truck Series season. This is the South Coast Power Equipment 300 at Seekonk Speedway. What has been an action-packed series has come to the action track of the East. Anything can happen today. And since this is a short track, only a limited number of drivers can race. For this track, that limit has been kept at 28, so some drivers will have to go home early. So here's the event format. We'll start with 4 heat races. In each one, the bottom few finishes will go to the C main, then the next 4 finishers will go to the B main, and the top 5 finishers will advance straight to the A main. The winner of each heat race will earn 5 championship points. Once the heat races are done, we will then run the C main. The top 4 finishers in the C main will advance to the B main, and the winner will earn 1 championship point. Then will come the B main, where the top 8 finishers will advance to the A main, and the winner of that race will earn 3 championship points. Then the main event will commence. So, let's start. Here we go for heat race number 1 for the Goldfish Truck Series at the Seekonk Speedway. Let's bring you starting grid as per usual. Starting on the pole for this one is Stuart Friesen. Alongside second is Logan Cole. Third is Derek Krause. Fourth is Tom Majeski. Fifth is Chase Dunbar. Sixth is Cody Quiverland. Seventh is Tyler Ankrum. Eighth is John Hunter Nemechek. Ninth is David Gravel. 10th is Brandon Poole. 11th is Corey Roper. And 12th is Cody Robow. Alright. Definitely looking forward to this race truck series at the action track of the east of Seekonk Speedway. Alright, so truck series lining up, or truck drivers lining up as per usual. I actually had some freaky lineups during my testing here. But it seems for the truck series with only 12 drivers, it should be fine. Oh, they're banging, actually. Alright, well, Truck Series Bluff, and green flag is in the air for race number 1 at Seekonk Speedway. Logan Cole has the lead here. Logan Cole and various other drivers behind as well, though trying to get a better run here is Derek Krause on the inside of Stuart Friesen. And Derek Krause, side by side with Stuart Friesen, has come up turn number 1. And Derek Krause trying to get around Stuart Friesen, and he is there. Meanwhile, Chase Dunbar in a bit of a battle with Stuart Friesen as they go through the corner here. Drivers trying not to crash into each other. Derek Krause now hunting down Logan Cole to try to win this race. Maybe get a couple of extra bonus points. Ooh, right now though, Chase Dunbar though about to fall out of the final transfer spot for the A main, and Chase Dunbar. Tom Majeski now takes the 5th position and will try to fast track his way into the A main. Alright though, lap down truck is coming up. Brandon Poole going a bit slowly here as Logan Cole and others looks like they're gonna have to try to find a way to get around him. Yeah. A little bit troublesome here. Logan Cole defending his position for now, but he's got Derek Krause behind him, and now, well, like I said, Brandon Poole ahead of him. So it's gonna be pretty daunting for Derek Krause to try to get around him here. Top 5 though pretty much staying as is. Chase Dunbar actually dropping back David Gravel in his first start of the season. In 6th, and for some reason the scoreboard isn't updating itself. As here come the leaders trying to get past Brandon Poole, and Logan Cole takes the lead in the race with Derek Krause falling behind. Derek Krause now having to find his way around Brandon Poole, and here is Tom Majeski making his way up through the pack. Tom Majeski, he has not had a very good season up to this point. But here he is now, actually looking good. He actually looked pretty good last week. And now he's trying again this week to impress. Meanwhile, Derek Krause continuing to chase down Logan Cole for a lead. But looks like Logan Cole might lead all the laps in this race. Oh, okay, apologies for messing something up on the scoreboard. I had times for some reason off the scoreboard. Do apologize for that. But now we actually have the actual race stats. Logan Cole leads for now, and Tommy just doing pretty well with moving up for position, and David Gravel actually doing a pretty good job of making up for the field as well. David Gravel in his first start already making it, but then again he probably has quite a bit of short track experience He's still stuck in 6th, though. I know he's up to 5th now, actually, as the scoreboard updates. Alright, final up in heat race number 1. Logan Cole clear sailing. Logan Cole has led every single lap in this race, and others trying to follow behind. Tom JC Doe doing pretty good. It's going to be a pretty good day, actually, for this entire top 5, as they're going to be automatically fast-tracking to the A main. And Logan Cole will win heat race number 1 at the Seekonk Speedway. Alright, a pretty good race. Logan Cole, of course, dominated every lap there, but other drivers did have the pleasure of making up some spots as well. So, here is your finishing position. So, Logan Cole wins the race with Derek Cross, second Tom Yeski in third, Stuart Freeze in fourth, and David Gravel in the top 5. Those guys will go straight to the A main. We have got Tyler Ankrum in 6th, Don Hernimacek in 7th, Cody Equivalent in 8th, and Chase Dunbar in 9th, having to go to the B main. And Corey Robaugh, Corey Roper, and Brendan Poole all having to go to the C main. But that wraps up heat race number 1 at the Seekonk Speedway. Time to begin heat race number 2. Here we go, free race number 2 at the Seekonk Speedway. Starting in the pole for this one is Christian Eckes, alongside second is Galen Downey, third is Ben Rhodes, fourth is Mitchell Collins, fifth is Austin Hill, sixth is Jennifer Jo Cobb, 7th is Eric DeLittle, 8th is Austin itself, 9th is Brandon Jones, 10th is Brett Felissart, and 11th is Isaac Nordic. Alrighty then. Alright, so the underdogs qualified decently well in this one. Let's actually get the stats of the race this time. Actually, with this whole scoreboard, you can actually see who's running where in the race, because it feels pretty short. Alright, here we go again. Pace track is about to pull off, and green flag is in the air. Free race number 2. Christian Eckes is getting a bit of a jump here, as Ben Rhodes and others behind trying to keep up. And Galen Downey stuck on the high line, and Ben Rhodes already trying to catch up to Christian Eckes, and he's already he's hesitant actually. Yeah, Ben Rhodes looks like they're going to stick behind Christian Eckes for the time being. But here comes Austin Hill with a flyer on the inside lane, trying to get up to the front pack and do some battling with these guys. Meanwhile, Ben Rhodes trying to get around Christian Eckes. And actually, Ben Rhodes is going to go very high. That's going to allow Austin Hill to make up a spot on him. And Christian Eckes is also very high. And Austin Hill is going to the very bottom lane. And Austin Hill now in a side-by-side battle with Christian Eckes. He might succeed here, actually. Oh no, he's backed up a little bit, almost going 3 wide. Not quite though, as Austin Hill trying to keep his lead now. And Austin Hill, it looks like, yeah, still trying to go for that lead, and it looks like he will. Austin Hill now leads in heat race number 2. Oh, he slips up a bit though. That's going to allow Ben Rhodes to surge underneath him. And Ben Rhodes is going to try to surge on by, and Ben Rhodes now leads in heat race number 3, or heat race number 2 at the Seekonk Speedway. And meanwhile, they're going 3 wide for second, as Zachary DeLillo is all the way on the bottom lane. And Zachary DeLillo now trying to move up second. Here comes Brandon Jones as well, who came from the back of the field, is now trying to battle with some of the high runners up here. A couple KBM trucks here now. So Brandon Jones, normally a Siemens Natchez driver, running part-time in the truck series, now up here. Here is Zachary DeLillo trying to keep up with Ben Rhodes here. Ben Rhodes, though, he's not really a stranger to winning. You know, Ben Rhodes, oddly enough, oh, he's going to slide very high up the racetrack here, though. That's not going to be very good for him, as Brandon Jones is going to go to his inside, and Zachary DeLillo now taking the lead here. And Brandon Jones, this wouldn't be the first time that he won a qualifying race. He won the C main back at the New Smyrna Speedway. Looks like this time Brandon Jones might just fast track straight onto the A main if he can find a way around Zachary DeLillo. Well, I mean, he's already fast tracked to, well, he's now in the in main. Oh my goodness, he is now in the A main if he can just finish in the top 5. So well enough, he doesn't even have to overtake Zachary DeLillo here. He can just cruise behind him. But you know, well, even if Brandon Jones did win, though, it wouldn't count for any points. So Zachary DeLillo here in a pretty good spot here to score some extra points. Meanwhile, behind some battle going here. Actually, a battle here for the final transport to the A main now. Ben Rhodes, who was up here in front, is now in a fierce battle with Galen Downey, who is now trying to take him on for the final transport. And there he goes. Galen Downey moves his way into 5th, making it into the final transport for the A main. And meanwhile, Zachary DeLillo still leading ahead of Brandon Jones. Ben Rhodes actually now outside the final transport. Oh, he's going to try to get back in here, though. If he can just get past Galen down next couple of laps. 2 laps to go for Brandon Jones. Ben Rhodes to find a way around Galen Downey and get into the A main. It might be pretty close here. He's trying though. Yep, Ben Rhodes trying everything in his power to get around Galen Downey here. One more lap to go. And the A main, or in this race. I'm messing up a bit here. And Ben Rhodes is now safely into the top 5. And Zachary DeLillo is going to win heat race number 3 at the Seekonk Speedway. With Brandon Jones behind in second. Brandon Jones now going to be able to make a start in the main event. Pretty good for him. Alrighty then, so now your standings for this race. So Zachary DeLillo comes on with the win, with Brandon Jones second, Christian Eckes third, also myself in fourth, and Ben Rhodes rounds up the field in 5th. Or rounds up the A main qualifiers in 5th. As Nerd comes home in 6th, Galen Downey 7th, Mitch Collins 8th, and Austin in 9th. Those guys are going to have to go to the B main. And Jennifer Joe Cobb in 10th, and Raphael Star in 11th. Those guys want to go to the same main. Actually, I just realized all 3 KBM trucks were actually in this heat race, and 2 of them actually had a pretty good day to start. Unfortunately for Raphael Star, however, he's now been mitigated all the way down to the C main, so he's going to have to do well on that one if he wants to have any shot at racing in the A main. But that is it for racing in heat race number 3. So we're heat race number 2. Oh man. Yeah, I do apologize if I'm messing up a lot. I'm getting my races confused. This is heat race number 2. Next up is heat race number 3. So let's bring that on right now. Alright, so I do apologize if my commentary skills are a little bit off to start this video. It's been a bit of a long day, and I'm just now being able to record a race today. This is heat race number 3. Let's give you a starting grid for it. So starting the pole for this one is Paul Jackson, alongside second is Spencer Davis, third is Adam Garcia, fourth is Christian Vargas, fifth is Grant Anfinger, sixth is Jeb Burton, seventh is Joey Anderson, eighth is Todd Gillen, ninth is Tate Fogelman, 10th is Corbin Forrester, and 11th is Angelica Rush. Alright. So we've seen 2 decent heat races so far tonight, and now let's see if we're gonna see 2 more. Well, heat race number 3, of course, about to begin. This should be interesting. Alrighty. So let's see what heat race number 3 has to offer. As Patrick is about to pull off. And green flag is in the air. Heat race number 3. Spencer Davis gets a bit of a launch here. Haven't been talking about him that much this season. Meanwhile, Christian Vargas now going to the inside of Paul Jackson. And Christian Vargas trying to search the inside of Spencer Davis. Meanwhile, Ladaris Bonner trying to battle here, and Grant Anfinger trying to stick his all the way to the bottom of the lane. Couldn't quite get there fast enough though, so Christian Vargas is going to overtake them now for the lead in this race. Meanwhile, though, a battle for a second continues between Grant Anfinger and Spencer Davis. Although Grant Anfinger likely to get the spot here, as Spencer Davis just being a bit slow. Well, he's trying to get into the bottom lane though. See, Spencer Davis, he's going to have to quickly get into the bottom lane if he wants to keep up the speed here. Although Adam Garcia not really going to help the situation. Adam Garcia now going to the bottom end underneath Spencer Davis, and Adam Garcia going to pick up a spot here. Meanwhile, there's a bit of a battle here for the transfer spot between Todd Gillen and Jeb Burton. Not the first time we've seen Jeb Burton in a race, or in the truck series, but here he is tonight. And Jeb Burton though looks like he's going to make his way around Todd Gillen. Meanwhile, for the lead, now there's a battle raging on here as Grant Anfinger, your last week's winner, now trying to get around Christian Vargas, and he's gonna do it. Sticking his nose underneath Grant Anfinger, now engaging in a battle for the lead with Christian Vargas, and Grant Anfinger looks like here he's going to progress into the lead here, and this is for bonus points, by the way. So Grant Anfinger now leading at the Seekonk Speedway. Meanwhile, not much of a battle here, although Angelica Rush up here in 6th. Angelica Rush trying to do everything in her power to be able to make it straight to the A main, because Angelica Rush, she hasn't had very good finishes recently. So if Angelica Rush could just catch up to Jeb Burton and get to the final transfer spot, that'd be great for her. But I just don't quite see it happening, as Angelica Rush has a decent gap between there's a decent gap between her and Jeb Burton. Now, there is 6 laps to go in this heat race, so there's still a little bit of time left. But Grant Anfinger holds the lead for now. 5 laps to go. Battle might be on now for 5th place. Well, I'd say that it's not much of a battle here, as Angelica Rush starting to fade. She was actually pretty far back and then came up pretty quickly, but unfortunately not quickly enough, as she's just might come up 1 spot short of making it straight to the A main. Now, of course, if she can do good enough in the B main, she can still make it to the A main, but probably wanted to have a bit of a better shot at making it, or actually being in the main event by making it to the main event right off the bat. Meanwhile, for Grant Enfinger, though, he's at least going to be in the main event right off the bat. With 2 laps to go, he's had to hold on for another couple laps here. So not only will he be able to go straight to the A main, but of course he will also be able to score some bonus points to add that on to his win from last week at the Papyrus Motorsports Park. Yeah, it will be quite something if you can win a points race and then following week win a heat race, and Grant Enfinger will win heat race number 3 at Seekonk Speedway. There's a bit of a battle going on behind, though, not really like it means anything, but Angelica Rush, though, unfortunately, she's going to have to settle for the B main. Still better than the worst, but could have been a little bit better as well. But that's it for the heat race number 3. So Grant Enfinger comes on with the win, with Christian Vargas in 2nd, Adam Garcia in 3rd, Spence Davis 4th, and Jeb Burton around the top 5. Let's go to go into the A main. Meanwhile, Angelica Rush in 6th, Jordan Anderson 7th, Todd Gill in 8th, and Paul Jackson in 9th. Having to go to the B main now, and Tate Follow main in 10th, and Corbin Forrest with 11th will have to settle for the C main. So we'll see how those guys do in the C main. But first, we have one more heat race left to go. And here we go for the 4th and final heat race of the night. Starting the pole for this one is William Seaman. Alongside 2nd is Zane Smith. 3rd is Sheldon Creed. 4th is Brett Moffitt. 5th is Marshall Burrow. 6th is Brian Truex. 7th is Johnny Sauter. 8th is Matt Crafton. 9th is Spencer Boyd. 10th is Tanner Gray. And 11th is Tim Veens. So, final heat race. Final placement race. And it will sure be interesting to see who finishes where once this is all over. Alright, so Pace Truck gonna pull off here in just a minute. Truck's banging a little bit, but that's okay. And green flag is in the air! And Seekonk Speed once again. Ooh, Zane Smith already been in a bit of trouble with his teammate, Brett Moffitt. A couple of GMS guys already getting into each other. And Brett Moffitt already going to surge through the lead here. Brett Moffitt wasting no time getting up to the front, it seems. And Brett Moffitt now leads at Seekonk Speedway. You know, Marshall Burrow falling behind. Marshall Burrow, he's actually pretty low in the point standing. Something that I learned after his win from Hillside. So Marshall Burrow already making haste to try to win another one. You know, Matt Crafton actually moving his way through the field. Zane Smith actually dropping back. And Matt Crafton going to surge right underneath Marshall Burrow. And Brett Moffitt riding on the high line. And that is allowed Matt Crafton now they're going 3 wide for the lead. Marshall Burrow all the way to the bottom lane. 3 wide for the lead here. And Marshall Burrow going to go right to the top. And Matt Crafton as well falling behind. And Sheldon Creed, though, is going to steal the position here. Man, I feel like going absolutely nuts. And right here in the same shot, you can already see the battle from behind. But now, what is possibly the most action-packed heat race yet, Sheldon Creed now goes to the lead. And Brett Moffitt up here now. And Brett Moffitt now also going to the lead here. Man, this race is absolutely nuts. And Brett Moffitt now once again going back to the lead here. Meanwhile, here comes William Seaman trying to get up here. Alright. Meanwhile, from behind, Spencer Boyd has now just moved his way into the top 5. And Johnny Sauter trying to make a pass on Matt Crafton. A couple of ThorSport drivers getting into each other. But Johnny Sauter has now taken the position away from him. And Johnny Sauter now trying to move up a couple spots to secure him even better into the A main. He's going to make his way around Spencer Boyd. Now going to make his way around Sheldon Creed. And Johnny Sauter to 3rd, and here comes Tim Veens. Tim Beans, a driver that I really talk about. What is this? Tim Beans now making his way up through the field, could potentially race in the A-main right off the bat. And meanwhile, Matt Craft is falling quite a bit back. But at least for Tim Beans, he's in a better position than where Angelica Rush was in that last race. Tim Beans is just right behind Sheldon Creed, and he now has 4 laps to make the pass, though. You have to be a bit quick, though, as time is starting to run out already. And Tim Beans is going to stick his nose underneath Sheldon Creed to overtake him. And Tim Beans still trying, but he's now side by side with Sheldon Creed with 3 laps to go. But Tim Beans, who started at the back of the field, is now into the top 5. Tim Beans, an underdog, has now managed to get into the top 5. Meanwhile, Brett Moffitt still holding his lead. Not much battling up front here, as Brett Moffitt just holding his lead now over William Seaman and Johnny Sauter. Meanwhile, Spencer Boyd appears well. Spencer Boyd, another driver I don't want to talk about. Final lap in heat race number 4. And Tim Beans is now in a very secure spot in this race and will be able to fast track right onto the A-main right here, right now. But the win is going to go to Brett Moffitt, winning heat race number 4 at the Seekonk Speedway. Alright, that was probably the most action-packed heat race yet. And that being said, that is going to conclude heat racing for the Truck Series at the Seekonk Speedway. Next up, of course, going to be the C-Main. But that wraps up for this one. So, your final standings is Brett Moffitt with the win, William Seaman at 2nd, Johnny Sauter 3rd, Spencer Boyd 4th, and Tim Beans, the underdog, makes his way up to 5th place and will be able to go straight onto the A-Main. Tim Beans probably very happy about that one. Meanwhile, Marshall Brewer in 6th, with Sheldon Creed 7th, Ryan Tricks in 8th, and Zane Smith in 9th. Those guys have to go to the for the B-Main, and for the C-Main, that'll be Matt Crafton and Tanner Gray. Matt Crafton, he was actually up there right at the start, but now he falls all the way back down to 10th, so Matt Crafton having to go to the C-Main, and Tanner Gray as well. I'm not sure what happened to him, but Tanner Gray as well happened to go to the C-Main. So, speaking of the C-Main, it's time to do that right now. Okay, so now with some pretty actiony heat races rounded up, it is time for the C-Main. So let's bring your starting grid for this one. So the pool for this one is Matt Crafton, Lawrence second is Raphael Lessard, 3rd is Brendan Poole, 4th is Tanner Gray, 5th is Tate Fogelman, 6th is Corey Roper, 7th is Corbin Forrester, 8th is Corey Robal, and 9th is Jennifer Jo Cobb. Okay, so the fewest amount of trucks that we're going to see all day in the race, but that's okay. 9 trucks, sometimes that's all you need for a good race. Okay, so top 4 finishers progress onto the B-Main. Winner gets a couple points. Well, actually by a couple points I mean 1 point. So there's still a reason to race here. Okay, so definitely question though, who is actually gonna make or actually move on? Anyway, well, we're about to find out. Speed truck pulls off and green flag is in the air for the C-Main at Seekonk Speedway. Matt Crafton gets a flying start and Raphael start here as well. Couple of star drivers trying not to be beat out by the underdogs, but here we go. Tanner Green and Tate Fogelman. Yeah, here they are. Racing for that position. Alright, Tate Fogelman now getting himself into the top 4, and Tanner Green as well, doing himself some favors here. Meanwhile, Brendan Poole now in a 3-wide battle with Cody Robow and Raphael Lessard. Raphael Lessard is falling out of contention. He's going to have to pick up the pace here. Raphael Lessard in a very bad spot here. Meanwhile, Cody Robow now in the final transfer spot. But the race is on though for 5th as Raphael Lessard now in a battle with Corbin Forrester and Brendan Poole. And Corbin Forrester now trying to make his way around Raphael Lessard. So we've got a KBM driver racing for his own team. And meanwhile, the field not doing too much up here, but this is fine. The field trying to stay safe here as Cody Robow now in the final transfer spot. But here comes Corbin Forrester, who might just be able to make up ground here. And unfortunately, though, for Raphael Lessard, he might have to fall all the way back to the end of the field here if he wants to have any shot at making it up to the final transfer spot. He's still got a little bit of time, and really doesn't have too many trucks that he has to overtake, but he really doesn't want to be in this position for very much longer. Meanwhile, might have a bit of an engaged battle for second here between Tate Fogelman and Tanner Gray. Yeah, Tate Fogelman played a pretty decent battle here. But the real battle, though, is back here, as now Corbin Forrester has now cleared his way through some slower traffic. And Corey Roper up here as well, trying to do some stuff here. Corey Roper, we don't see him on track very often. But it looks like this might be the last time we see him on track for today, as he is not quite close enough to Corbin Forrester, who isn't that far away from Corey Robow, or isn't that close to Corey Robow. So, yeah, we're watching Corbin Forrester here. Corbin Forrester turning his last laps of the day, as he just cannot keep up with the people in front of him. Matt Crafton actually pulling out to a pretty good gap. And it's kind of surprising that Matt Crafton fell all the way back down here, but that's okay, as Matt Crafton getting a pretty big gap here. And Matt Crafton will at least have a shot to race for, or race in the main event itself. Meanwhile, unfortunately for Rafael Lazar, not so much. In fact, Rafael Lazar, this isn't the first time that Rafael Lazar is in this position. He actually fell all the way back down the C-Main at the Five Flags Speedway and actually wound up scoring no points that day. And now Rafael Lazar is in that position again. Rafael Lazar about to score absolutely no points. That is definitely going to hurt him in the championship standings. Meanwhile, top four pulling away, and actually the first leading driver in this race, Matt Crafton, actually pulling out to a pretty good gap here. So now these three really just cruising the track pretty much. In fact, these three up here don't really have to do anything. They just have to just ride around for one more lap, and then they will move on to the B main and have a chance to one-up themselves. But Matt Crafton with a pretty big lead here. Matt Crafton actually one of the drivers that qualified for the NBT Triple Cup Challenge, or Triple Truck Challenge around the season. Matt Crafton will win the C main and score a point. Alright, so it'll be interesting to see how these guys fare in the next round. So, wrapping up your C main, so Matt Crafton with the win, with Tanner Green in second, Tate Fogelman in third, and Cody Robow, of course, going to be moving on to the B main, with Corbin Forrester in fifth, Corey Roper in sixth, Brendan Poole eighth, Brendan Poole in seventh, Rafael Lazar in eighth, and Jennifer Jo Cobb in ninth. Those guys are going to be done for the day. Right, now it's time to bring on, however, the B main. Alrighty, it is B main time at Seekonk Speedway, so let's give you your starting grid for this one. So the booth for this race is Ryan Trix, alongside second is Matt Crafton, third is Austin Hill, fourth is Todd Gillen, fifth is Paul Jackson, sixth is Zane Smith, seventh is Richard Collins, eighth is John Hunter Nemechek, ninth is Isaac Nordic, 10th is Chase Dunbar, 11th is Sheldon Creed, 12th is Cody Cleveland, 13th is Caitlin Downey, 14th is Marshall Burrow, 15th is Tyler Ankrum, 16th is Jordan Anderson, 17th is Dave Fogelman, 18th is Tanner Gray, 19th is Cody Robaugh, and 20th is Angelica Rush. Alrighty. So time for some B main action at Seekonk Speedway. So we go from seeing the smallest amount of trucks that we've seen so far today to now the biggest amount of trucks we've seen so far today. A whole 20 trucks in this race, and 8 of them will move on to the main event itself. Alright. So here we go. This should be a good one. Still getting a little bit close, but Patrick about to pull off here. And green flag is in the air for the B main at Seekonk Speedway. Matt Crafton, your winner from the C main, now already up here. Well, starting on the pole for this one, of course. And he must have been very fast in qualifying, I guess is worth mentioning. He's now up here in first, but right now he's under fire from Austin Hill here. Austin Hill trying to find a way around Matt Crafton for the lead here. This is for a few championship points. And Austin Hill gets around Matt Crafton for the lead here. Yeah, Austin Hill trying to go on and win something. Meanwhile, Matt Crafton actually in the Highland, which isn't a very good place to be. As here's Paul Jackson as well, now just trying to move his way up through the pack. And Paul Jackson looking going to pick up a spot here on Matt Crafton. Looks like he will. Yeah, Paul Jackson moves up a spot. Alright, not bad. Although Matt Crafton, though, he's losing those spots. He's going to have to stay up here, though, if he wants to go all the way to the A main. So Matt Crafton, one of the few C-mainers that's actually competitive in this race. He's going to have to do better than this if he wants to make it all the way. He's got, I mean, he's still got a number of laps left to go. But the more laps you waste, then I think the more problematic things are going to be. Meanwhile, Austin Hill here pulling out to a pretty good lead here. Not letting anyone catch up to him. And Matt Crafton still struggling to get to the bottom lane. He is dropping. And he's going to have to be quick about this. Here's Tate Fogelman. This might be Matt Crafton's chance, and there he goes. He looks like he's going to slide in here. Ooh, Galen Downey goes high. And Matt Crafton, though, he's... okay, battling is commencing. And now they go 3 wide. And Matt Crafton at least going to keep a spot here. However, he's still in a bit of a vulnerable position here as he is surrounded by a bunch of things. Here comes Cody Quivalent, your current points leader, now trying to find a way from Matt Crafton. But Matt Crafton not doing a bad job by holding his ground here. Meanwhile, there's a bit of a battle for second here between Paul Jackson and Chase Dunbar. We'll look at that in a bit. Well, look at that right now, actually. And Chase Dunbar now racing with Paul Jackson. And actually, Austin Hill goes very high, and Paul Jackson is not going to overtake Austin Hill here for the lead in the B main. And Paul Jackson now to the lead at Seekonk Speedway. Looks like Chase Dunbar going to gain up a spot as well. Yes, sir. Chase Dunbar now picking up a spot on Austin Hill. And I might be able to pick up another spot here if we can get to the back bumper for Paul Jackson, and he will. And Chase Dunbar now to the lead at Seekonk Speedway. Meanwhile, behind Matt Crafton, he's in a very bad spot here. He started on the pole for this race, but he is very close to missing the show. Meanwhile, Angelica Rush, who, funnily enough, another driver that fell all the way back down to the... No, he made the B main, never mind. But Angelica Rush trying to stay competitive and progress up all the way up to the A main. Man, lots of stuff going on here. Meanwhile, there's a battle for the lead, a very aggressive battle for the lead. Two apologies for missing everything. Let's actually rewind back as I didn't quite see what was going on. Looks like the field was starting to get pretty intense here as Paul Jackson makes the maneuver on Chase Dunbar, and Paul Jackson back to the lead at Seekonk Speedway in the B main. Meanwhile, quite a bit of the field actually starting to get caught up here. This might create a bit of a jam here. So Paul Jackson leads, but Chase Dunbar and others trying to get into this fight here. And now a lot of stuff going on here. Todd Gilliland now making his way around Chase Dunbar. Yes, Todd Gilliland now with the overtake on Chase Dunbar. And Todd Gilliland up to second place, and he might pick up another spot here as Paul Jackson on the high line. Here comes Todd Gilliland trying to make that pass. And Todd Gilliland now overtakes Paul Jackson and goes into the lead at Seekonk Speedway. Meanwhile, Tate Followman, a driver that was actually quite impressive in the C main, and it looks like Tate Followman might be the driver, the C mainer, to now progress all the way up to the A main as Tate Followman in a very good spot here. Tate Followman now battling with Paul Jackson for second place. Meanwhile, a race for the transfer spot has now come down to Jordan Anderson. Jordan Anderson now in the final transfer spot. Well, he's got some tough competition behind him, so he's going to have to hold those guys off for a little bit. And meanwhile, Paul Jackson actually starting to fall back a little bit as here comes Cody Quivalent, your points leader. Kind of a surprising thing that Cody Quivalent is here in the B main, but that won't really be an embarrassment anymore as Cody Quivalent now in a very good spot to make it up to the A main and race for a win in the race that really matters. Meanwhile, Austin Hill makes his way back up through the field. And Paul Jackson actually losing a few spots here, but this might be a safety thing though, as Paul Jackson in a pretty good spot to at least make it to the A main. Actually running in 5th, which isn't too bad. Ooh, we're about to see an overtake for second though, as Cody Quivalent now in a side-by-side battle with Tate Fogelman. And Cody Quivalent, you know, it's surprising. Cody Quivalent, he hasn't won a race this season, but he is your points leader, and he is now trying to get around Todd Gilliland. Pretty good battle here for the lead here in the B main. 6 laps to go, and Cody Quivalent makes it underneath Todd Gilliland. And they looks like they try to go 3 wide there for a second, but I guess can stay 2 wide as Paul Jackson, who lost some spots here, now makes his way back up through the pack here, engaging in a battle with Todd Gilliland. And Paul Jackson, to fall back a bit, is going to restore his speed around Jordan Anderson in the final transfer spot here. He's going to overtake Austin Hill though. Austin Hill might fall out of the race here if he can't hold off Drivers such as John Hunter Nemechek and Galen Downey and those behind. Meanwhile, more battling though in the midst of the field, racing to get into the race. They're already in the A main, but getting quite stingy. Maybe not going to do this late in the race, but we have 2 laps to go, and Sheldon Creed is going to go beneath Paul Jackson and might be able to make up a spot on Cody Cleveland as well. White flag, 1 more lap to go in the B main. Sheldon Creed trying to get into battle with Cody Cleveland. This is the race for the win in the B main and a couple extra points. And here come off the final corner, and it's going to go to Cody Cleveland. And Cody Cleveland is going to score some bonus points in this one. And of course, will be in the A main, the main event itself. It's going to be racing to see how he does in that race. So that's it for the B main. So winner of races, of course, is Cody Cleveland. And second place is Sheldon Creed. Third is Chase Dunbar. Fourth, Paul Jackson. Fifth is John Anderson. Sixth is John Anderson. And seventh is Todd Gillen. And eighth is Galen Downey. So those guys will move on to the A main. However, for the rest of the field, we're followed by 9th, Austin Hill 10th, Tanner Gray 11th, Ted Ingram 12th, Isaac Norty 13th, Mitchell Collins 14th, Ryan Trick 15th, Zane Smith 16th, Marshall Burrows 17th, Cody Rubble 18th, Matt Crafton 19th, and Angelica Rush in 20th. They will be done for the day. They'll get some points out of this one, but it's not going to be as much as they could have gotten. So, that concludes qualifying, racing, and all the other stuff here from Seekonk Speedway. It is time to bring on the main event itself. Alrighty, that is it for qualifying. It is time for the main event itself. This is the South Coast Power Equipment 300 at the Seekonk Speedway. So let's waste no time and give you your starting grid for this race. So the booth of this one is Sheldon Creed alongside. Second is Stuart Friesen. Third is William Seaman. Fourth is Adam Garcia. Fifth is Johnny Sauter. Sixth is Chase Dunbar. Seventh is Derek Kraus. 8th is Ben Rhodes, 9th is Paul Jackson, 10th is Logan Cole, 11th is David Gravel, 12th is Christian Edkes, 13th is Brandon Jones, 14th is Cody Cleveland, 15th is Tom Jiski, 16th is Grant Anfinger, 17th is Todd Gillen, 18th is Zachary DeLillo, 19th is Brett Bonfett, 20th is Christian Progress, 21st is Gabe Downey, 22nd is Betsy Davis, 23rd is John Hunter Nemechek, 24th is Joan Anderson, 25th is Jed Burton, 26th is Spencer Boyd, 27th is also itself, and 28th is Tim Veens. Alright, the Trump Mobile starting at the back of the field, but that is okay because the fact that he's here at all is quite something. Anyways, so 28 drivers, these are the guys who qualified. So it is now to watch them do battle for 125 laps at the Action Track of the East. This should be exciting. Alright, so field of course going to do the thing. Go for turn 3 and 4. This might be a bit... No, looks like we're going to do this fine. Alright, Pacer is going to pull off. And green flag is in there for the South Coast Power Equipment 300 at Seekonk Speedway. Sheldon Creed out to a flying start in the race, but battling is commencing behind. Adam Garcia in a bit of a battle with Stuart Friesen and Johnny Sauter there as well. Alright, quite an interesting battle for second to start this race. And Adam Garcia, though, might prevail here. As a couple of ThorSport trucks coming up. Here's Johnny Sauter coming up to the field. And Ben Rhodes behind as well. Alright. This race, now a lot more of a marathon rather than a sprint. So the driver is going to have to just drive and see what they can do. Meanwhile, Ben Rhodes now just getting behind his teammate of Johnny Sauter. Meanwhile, a bit of battling for 6th here. William Seaman trying to get a spot here on Stuart Friesen, and Cody Cleveland had to go to the low line on Stuart Friesen. And Cody Cleveland can move up a spot on him. Cody Cleveland actually came all the way back from 28th apparently. Actually, I think the... Hang on. Something's up with Cody Cleveland. Oh, looks like he's having to serve a penalty here. Not good for him. Meanwhile, some more battling up front that I didn't quite catch here. As battling on here is Turns out that Sheldon Creed gonna go high here and allow Adam Garcia to move on by. Anyway, yeah, so Cody Quivalent actually having to serve a penalty here. Not really sure what happened. I guess couldn't quite get the start down. Not something to expect from the points leader. Anyways, Adam Garcia moving on by. In fact, Sheldon Creed is actually the one here to drop a lot of spots here. And here is Johnny Sauter now trying to find a way around Adam Garcia. Oh, but Ben Rhodes going even lower. And 3 wide for the lead coming out of turn 2. And Ben Rhodes looks like he's going to get the best of these guys. And maybe others still fighting back. Ben Rhodes, you have stuff in to fight off his teammate and others. Looks like he's going to make it back here. And here comes, oh no, Ben Rhodes going to slide high. And here comes David Gravel making up the spots. And David Gravel is going to lead at Seekonk Speedway. David Gravel, wow. David Gravel in his first season getting the lead here. Didn't quite expect to see David Gravel to run so well here today. Although right now he's going to fall back a little bit as Johnny Sauter now takes the lead here. Oh, David Gravel slides up a little bit. And Johnny Sauter now with the lead, but here comes William Seaman. William Seaman going to try to grab the lead here from Johnny Sauter. And there he goes. Meanwhile, Brett Moffitt now moving up his way through the pack. Ooh, a little bit of 3 wideness going on the back straightaway as William Seaman in the battle with Brett Moffitt. And Moffitt now to the lead here. And Ben Rhodes now trying to find a way around Brett Moffitt. And here comes Sheldon Creed, now up to the lead. Sheldon Creed has had a pretty trash season. He's actually now running up in this race, now up to the lead. Here comes Paul Jackson from behind. Paul Jackson trying to squeak his way into the lead here. Paul Jackson, who almost didn't make this race, as he fell quite a bit back in the B main, but of course he is now has a chance to race for glory in the main event itself. Here's Jordan Anderson, driver that I don't really talk about much this season, or haven't really talked about much this season. For some, Jordan Anderson has actually been fast in the race. And here is Jordan Anderson up to 3rd place. I was going to try to get up a spot here on Paul Jackson. And David Gravel going to try to make it 3 wide here. And there they go, 3 wide into turn 1. And David Gravel is now back up to 2nd. Here comes Jeff Burton, a couple part-time drivers now running pretty well up here. And David Gravel up to 2nd. Meanwhile, Sheldon Creed, who had a bit of a lead there, that might give it up here. As now Jeff Burton now getting around David Gravel. Oops. And Jeff Burton. There he goes, make his way up. Trying to get past Sheldon Creed. There he goes. And Jeb Burton, now that side-by-side battle, he's going to make it past Sheldon Creed. Only a little bit, though. That was a pretty tight battle for the lead there across the stripe. Here comes Ben Rhodes. And others behind him. And Ben Rhodes up to 2nd now. And John Hartz-Nemechek up to 3rd. John Hartz-Nemechek, another driver that I haven't talked about much. In fact, a lot of the guys I haven't talked about much season are now relevant for the first time in a race. It happens to be Seekonk Speedway of all races. And John Hunter Nemechek now up to 3rd. Ooh, Jeb Burton slides up the racetrack a little bit. Here comes David Gravel getting back up here. Now, David Gravel has ran pretty well today. I never really thought that David Gravel would be this good today, but how about it? David Gravel. Meanwhile, Cody Quivalent actually stuck on pit road now. Not sure what's up from the points leader in the standings. Well, it might be the points leader after this race now. And David Gravel now in a battle with Jeb Burton. And David Gravel now up to first once again. Oh, he's got quite a bit of competition behind him. And here, Field trying to really force their way in here. 3 wide for the lead. And Paul Jackson now back up to the lead here. As Sheldon Creed in second. Here comes the Grant Enfinger. One of the Thor Sports trucks run pretty well today. Thor Sport, he's got 3 out of their 4 trucks in this race. Unfortunately for Crafton, wasn't able to make it as he was just too slow, and the beam actually fell off like a rock in the B main. Legally for Grant Enfinger though, he's running pretty well to start this one. And John Hunter Nemechek now engaging in battle with Sheldon Creed. But Paul Jackson now out to front, or out in front. I think, oh no, Corey Cleveland still falling back. Thought for a moment he came back out, but no. Donald Nemechek with now engaging in a battle with Grant Enfinger. And Sheldon Creed. Pretty decent battle for third. Now we got a lead change though as John Hunter Nemechek now makes his way past Paul Jackson. And John Hunter Nemechek now back to lead. Paul Jackson in second though. Might pull up a crossover move here on John Hunter Nemechek. Although Sheldon Creed not really making things any easier, and Sheldon Creed now goes all the way to the lead. Oh no, oh, they're still battling though. Here comes Ben Rhodes making it 3 wide for the lead. And Ben Rhodes, oh, he's still banging a bit. Oh, here's Spencer Davis who might try to make it 4 wide. Not quite the 4 wideness though, but still gonna go 3 wide as Spencer Davis now makes his way up through the field. He's gonna shove Ben Rhodes up high a little bit. And here's Grant Enfinger trying to make his way back up to the front. Here we go, some 4 wideness going on, almost 4 wide for third now. 3 wide across the stripe. And Zachary DeLillo now making up some spots here. And now with the overtake on Spencer Davis. Spencer Davis. I see Spencer Boyd before. Anyway, Zachary DeLillo up to third. And here's Tom Majeski. Tom Majeski is, I mentioned him a bit earlier, he hasn't been having a good season. But here he is now challenging for the lead with Zach DeLillo. And Tom Majeski now in the lead. Oh, Zach DeLillo not giving up the spot. And Galen Downey really not making things much better for these guys, at least for now. As Galen Downey 3 wide for the lead again. That's become a bit old now. As Galen Downey up to first. A lot of white trucks up here. Galen Downey now your leader. Here is John Hunter Nemechek. Back up to second. And Spencer Davis, who didn't fall that far back. Here he is coming up to the front. Well, he's trying to get up to the front. Yep, Spencer Davis. Oh, Galen Downey slides high. That's going to allow John Hunter Nemechek to make up a spot on him. And Spencer Davis as well, trying to make up another spot here. And Spencer Davis now with the position. There you go, still trying to get around Galen Downey. There you go, Spencer Davis to the lead. And, oh no, Spencer Davis, well, I meant Spencer Davis second, but now Spencer Davis to the lead. And he's trying to make his way around John Hunter Nemechek. And Spencer Davis now up to the lead. Spencer Davis leading his first laps all season. Quite a first. And Spencer Davis. Although he's going to lose out here, as here's John Hunter Nemechek to get around him. Or try to get around him again. And John Hunter Nemechek now back to the lead. Oh, but not only for a brief moment though, as here comes Galen Downey. Trying to get back up to the front. 50 laps complete. Galen Downey actually doing pretty good here at making his way up through the field. And Galen Downey back into first. And here's Stuart Friesen. That's one other driver that was spoken about much season. Here he comes. Oh, but John Hunter might try to make it 3 wide for the lead. But Stuart Friesen going to overpower them for now. And Stuart Friesen out to the lead. Here comes David Gravel back up here now. David Gravel fell back a little bit, but he is now back. And David Gravel getting back into third. A couple of Chevy sponsored trucks up here actually. David Gravel and Ty Majeski. And Stuart Friesen now with that lead. Here comes John Nemechek and David Gravel. David Gravel sticks his nose in deep. Oops. And David Gravel in quite the battle with John Nemechek. David Gravel back to first. It's amazing how good David Gravel has been today. I won't say he's a spoiler winner though. You know, we've seen a driver that seem like they might be a spoiler winner, but then they don't turn out to be a spoiler winner. But David Gravel, at least for now, doing pretty well in this race. Well, only for now though, as here comes John Hunter Nemechek into first. And Ty Majeski about to pick up an extra spot up here as well. And Ty Majeski now in a second, trying to chase down John Hunter Nemechek. Ooh, Ty Majeski might have a spawn. There he goes. Ty Majeski now back to the lead. Here comes Christian Ekes running up front. Christian Ekes, a driver who's had a very bad season as well. In fact, it seems a lot of the drivers who have been having bad seasons so far are actually having a good race today. Yeah, Ty Majeski still on front. And David Gravel trailing behind him in second. Here comes Christian Ekes. Might pass him. John Hunter Nemechek, however, is staying there. All the top two miss up the corner a little bit, allowing Christian Ekes to go low. But it seems Ty Majeski prevailing for now. Oh, he messed up the corner just a little bit. Not in the best spot. And here comes Christian Ekes. And Christian Ekes is going to force his way past Ty Majeski, although he loses it. Now he's still trying, but he's allowed Jeb Burton to make up a spot here. And Jeb Burton now takes the lead. Now about to go 3 wide for a second. It's Spencer Davis now making his way back up to the pack. Spencer Davis really trying to get up here. And Spencer Davis to second, not first, but second. Jeb Burton, he actually hasn't been doing that good in either series. You know, he's made part-time starts in the Siemens Nash series and the, well, only a couple starts in the Goldfish Truck series, but in none of those starts, hasn't really been that impressive. But hopefully, he can impress today. As Nice Motorsports only has one victory on the season that came quite a while ago now from Ross Chastain. So Jeb Burton trying to take number 44 back, or number 44 to victory lane, which would be Nice Motorsports' second win of the season. And now the Tigers actually driven this 44 truck for the majority of the races for the season. But Jeb Burton making a start today, trying to prove his worth. And here comes Spencer Davis up to second. And here's Johnny Sauter. Johnny Sauter, your winner from 8 Bull Super Speedway not long ago. Trying to keep up here. And Johnny Sauter going to go beneath Spencer Davis. Now he's going to make up another spot. And Johnny Sauter now to the lead at Seekonk Speedway. We go for 3-1 per second here as Stuart Friesen trying to force his way up to the front. Here comes Brandon Jones trying to find a way around these guys. And Stuart Friesen makes his way up to second. Alright, we're quite a ways past the halfway point now. We have about 50 laps to go. So fairly wide open of who's actually going to win this race. And Johnny Sauter's out front. Here comes Stuart Friesen, making his way up to second. And Stuart Friesen, making his way up to the front. And here is Stuart Friesen up to first. You know, quite a bit of battling behind, but this lead 4-pack is actually separated a little bit from the guys behind. And there goes Johnny Sauter now with the crossover move on Stuart Friesen. There he goes. Meanwhile, the field behind actually starting to catch up now. As here's Derek Kraus. Yep. With Johnny Sauter out to the lead. Here comes John Neartech now trying to take second. Or, well, take first. Take the lead here. And he's still trying. Any moment now, he's probably going to pounce. There he goes! Ooh, a little bit of contact. A little bit of contact. But John Nemechek going to make it through this. Oh, now he's engaged about with Derek Kraus. Derek Kraus trying to make his way up through here. Yes, and Derek Kraus racing another past winner in Johnny Sauter. Oh, he's gonna mess up the corner. We're gonna allow 3 wide. 3 wide for the lead. Paul Jackson goes all the way to the bottom lane. And Paul Jackson leads now. Here comes Ben Rhodes. Brandon Jones trying to make his way back up 3 as well. Ben Rhodes actually making it 3 wide for third. Now about to go 3 wide for second. And here comes Brandon Jones. And Ben Rhodes now about to make up a spot on Paul Jackson. Oh, he slides up a little bit. Yep. Still trying. He's got Brandon Jones contending behind him. Brandon Jones really trying to get up through here. And there he goes, Brandon Jones to lead at Seekonk Speedway. Second time in a week, actually, I've seen Brandon Jones run well, albeit it's a different series. But it's quite interesting to see Brandon Jones run this high in a race. Anyway, so Brandon Jones up in front, and here comes Ty Majeski. Couple of Nice Motorsport trucks actually getting pretty close together. If only Ryan Triggs could be in this battle. But Nice Motorsport's trying to take 1-2 here. Ty Majeski and Jeb Burton trying to take the top 2 spots. Although Ty Majeski on the high line, he might lose a couple spots here if he can't get down to the bottom in time. Here goes William Seaman. William Seaman trying to get up here. But Jeb Burton doing pretty well with keeping his position in front. We still have quite a few laps left to go. Gonna have 30 to go next time by. There's William Seaman back up here now. And William Seaman trying to overtake Jeb Burton for the lead. Oh, Jeb Burton gonna get squeezed high here. And William Seaman picks up a spot for first. And William Seaman out to the front position. All the Nice trucks not backing down. Here comes Brett Moffitt trying to get up here as well. Brett Moffitt, a guy I haven't really spoken about all day. Oh, these guys own battle now with Chase Dunbar. And here's Ty Majeski now getting around Jeb Burton. A couple of Nice trucks doing some rather interesting things. Yep. Here comes Chase Dunbar. Trying to move his way up here. These trucks stuck in the high line. And William Seaman also trying not to lose his lead. And Chase Dunbar now making his way up through the pack. And Chase Dunbar into second, but Stuart Friesen, though, not doing any favors. Stuart Friesen, who came seemingly out of nowhere, now making it 3 wide for lead, and almost 4 wide for second, almost 4 wide for third. Quite a lot going on here now. And here comes Brett Moffitt up to third. Up to second if we can get around Chase Dunbar. And Brett Moffitt up to second now. Ben Rhodes making his way back up through the field. It's coming down to the wire now. Stuart Friesen leads. Ben Rhodes, not the first time that he's won a heat qualifying thingy race. He actually won the most recent one at New Smyrna. And here he is now going for a second win of the season at Seekonk Speedway. We still actually have yet to get a repeat winner in the Truck Series. Now that we're 11 races in, it should come any time now. As Stuart Friesen still leading for now. But Ben Rhodes trying to get around Brett Moffitt. Still anybody's race, though. This is that point in the race where you think you might know who's going to win, and yet there's still so much going on that it's really hard to tell. Stuart Friesen, I think, doing a pretty decent job at leading a lot of these laps. That doesn't say he'll win, though. I mean, he has to keep or stay in front of Ben Rhodes if he wants to have any shot of winning. And Ben Rhodes trying to be a fierce competitor here. Yep, here we go. Ben Rhodes trying to find a way around Stuart Friesen. Here comes John Hunter Nemechek. John Hunter Nemechek now up to second. And Stuart Friesen now having to let go of the lead here. But I might be back later. Although Ben Rhodes, what didn't take too long for him to mess up. As John Hunter Nemechek can overtake him for second. We're in the climax of the race now. John Hunter Nemechek in the lead, but they go 3 wide for second. And Chase Dunbar trying to enter the picture here. And Chase Dunbar now takes the lead from John Hunter Nemechek. Here comes Paul Jackson. And Brandon Jones not too far back. Paul Jackson in second. The race for the win, though, is still shaping up as Brandon Jones makes his way up to third. 10 laps to go at Seekonk Speedway. Paul Jackson now overtakes Chase Dunbar. Man, who's gonna win? Are we gonna have are we finally have our first repeat winner of the season? Or are we going to have yet another first-time winner? Here comes Brandon Jones. Brandon Jones hasn't really won a race in the Truck Series yet either. And it'll be the first time that this 51 truck goes to victory lane this season. Brandon Jones, one of the part-timers driving this 51 truck. Of course, Brandon Jones, a full-time driver in the Siemens National Series. But Brandon Jones might be able to apply this practice, this seat time that he's getting from this race, to tomorrow's race. But for today, he's trying to win. And here comes Chase Dunbar getting beneath Brandon Jones. And here comes David Gravel, another part-timer. Trying to look good here. 5 laps to go at Seekonk Speedway. Paul Jackson has a pretty decent gap, actually. And Paul Jackson with, yeah, like I said, a pretty decent gap here. Paul Jackson, who has not won a race since the season opener at Willow Springs. He's now in a pretty good spot to win. But David Gravel not too far behind. David Gravel trying to press in his first start of the season. And Dave Gravel can win. If he can get up to Paul Jackson, he'll be a third part-time winner of the year. But he's under fire as Ben Rhodes now squeezes his way past David Gravel. 2 laps to go. And the battle is on for second. David Gravel and Ben Rhodes going absolutely nuts for second. Seems they can't go for the win, so they're going to go for second. And white flag, 1 more lap to go. Paul Jackson, he's been around, he's been here and there. And Paul Jackson, who, like I said earlier, has not won a race since the season opener at Willow Springs. But now, Paul Jackson is going to become the first repeat winner of the season and will win the South Coast Power Equipment 300 at Seekonk Speedway. Well, there was a mystery there for a while who would win the race, but it is Paul Jackson who becomes the first repeat winner of the season, winning at Seekonk Speedway. Pretty impressive stuff. So, your official thingies. Paul Jackson comes home with the win, with Ben Rhodes in second, Brandon Jones third, David Gravel fourth, Jordan Anderson fifth, William Seaman sixth, Grant Finger seventh, Brett Moffitt eighth, Stuart Freeze in ninth, Zach DeLittle 10th, Spencer Davis 11th, John Hunter Nemechek 12th, Chris Dunbar 13th, Johnny Starter 14th, Logan Cole 15th, Jeb Burton 16th, Tommy Jiski 17th, Derek Cross 18th, Todd Gillen 19th, Christian Eck is 20th, Christian Vargas 21st, Sheldon Creed 22nd, Galen Downing 23rd, Adam Garcia 24th, Tim Beans 25th, also myself 26th, Spencer Boyd 27th, and Cody Quiverland in 28th. Somehow Cody Quiverland got a DQ at the start of the race, but yes. Oh well, it happens sometimes, but that is going to be it for the Truck Series at Seekonk Speedway. We still got 2 races remaining in the weekend. But that, of course, like I said, that is going to be the end of today. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in whatever I make next.